Guten Tag, and welcome to another episode of Creature Madness with your host, me, Gus from Askewed Reviews. Now, in case you don't know what Creature Madness is, this was a creation by my friend Matthew over at Horror Madness. And he decided to bring a few of his friends together to do a movie club where we all watch the same creature feature movie and then each of us does our own review of that film. Aside from myself and Matthew, the other members of this group are Jen, Ryan, Bambi, Ashley, Karen, and Ameriah. And speaking of Ameriah, it was her turn to choose the movie. And once I tell you what movie she chose, this background right here will make a lot more sense. She chose the 2016 film Yoga Hosers, written and directed by Kevin Smith. Yoga Hosers is actually the second of a trilogy that Kevin Smith is making called the True North Trilogy, which are all movies that take place in Canada. It started with Tusk, then it's Yoga Hosers, and eventually he'll release his last movie in the trilogy, Moose Jaws. By the way, if you'd like to learn a lot of interesting trivia related to this film, you can actually look up my previous trivia review on my Askewed Reviews channels, either in TikTok or in YouTube. So let me tell you a bit about what the story is for this film, and it's quite the story. We have two best friends, Colleen M and Colleen C, who not only do they go to school together, they're in a rock band together, and they both work at the local general store A to Z. One evening, while the Colleens are at the store, a power outage occurs. Now, that would be fine, except for the simple fact that there is power leading to an underground layer beneath the store that causes some issues. You see, about 70 years ago, an evil genius known as Andronicus Arcane decided he wanted to make the perfect soldiers, so he combined bratwurst with that evil German army from World War II to make some super soldiers. But the problem was is he needed 100 years for them to actually fully develop. And because it was only 70 years, this army of Bratzies is very tiny. But they are now loose upon the store, causing lots and lots of havoc. So the girls are going to have to take on this evil army of Bratwurst soldiers, but they do get at least a little bit of help from an investigator named Guy Lapointe. So I'll leave the story there and let you discover the rest on your own if you decide to watch this one. So, for me, on my scale, I am going to continue to agree with what I said before, and I'm really just going to give this one a 2 out of 5. It is entertaining, but it is very weird, and I just don't feel like it was kind of put all that well together. So that's the reason I'm giving that. Now, if you'd like to check it out for yourselves, it's currently streaming for free on Tubi and Pluto TV. I am now going to give you all a big spoiler warning, as this is the part of Creature Madness where I do a more in depth section about the creatures that appear in the film. So if you haven't seen this one before, feel free to go watch that and then come back. Otherwise, just stick around and I'll spoil some things for you. So the primary creature in this film is the Bratzies. Now they are maybe a foot tall. They don't really seem to be all that strong or all that capable or even all that resilient, but there are multiples of them. Additionally, if you didn't know, all of the Bratzies are played by Kevin Smith. Now, aside from them, there is one other creature that does show up at the end of the film, and that would be this massive behemoth, the Goalie Golem. This thing is apparently an amalgamation of parts from all of the victims of the Bratzies. They have been put together through mad science, and it's apparently the Bratzies that actually control this thing, kind of like a Gundam. And of course, it had to be a giant goalie because, Canada. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Creature Madness, and hopefully by now you do have a much better understanding as to why this was the chosen picture for this week. If you'd like to see what everyone else in the group did for their reviews on this movie, just look up the hashtag Creature Madness.